Good evening, everyone. Welcome to closing comments here for April 28th. Let's jump right into our charts and see what happened in the market today. First up, we got our June live cattle on the board. We did see another strong day here for this cattle market. This June live contract driving up into some new all-time highs here today, printing at 253.75. We continue to see increasing volume here as these buyers continue to drive this market up. We saw good steady buying activity all day long yesterday and just continued over in today's session. This market hitting the ground running off that opening range and never really looking back, driving right up into those highs here late today, having a nice strong close at new all-time highs on increasing volume. All great signs here from a bullish standpoint for this live cattle market. Not a whole lot else to be said here, though, as this market just shows continued buyer support. This uptrend still remains intact, and we should see these prices continue to climb into these all-time highs here throughout the remainder of the week. Look for the upside to continue here into tomorrow's session. Next up, we got our August feeders on the board. Similar day here in this feeder market. We did see a little bit steeper pullback in the last week or two here for this cattle market, or for this feeder market, that is. So we haven't quite got back to those all-time highs yet, but steady upside all week long here. Seeing this market trade up there towards 373.75 at the high today. About $5 off of these all-time highs, but we should be knocking on the door there here pretty quick. The uptrend remains intact. Good buying activity all day long here for this feeder market as well. We expect to see this thing continue to push up there towards 378, and beyond that, this market should have its eyes set up here on $4. So look for these live and feeder markets to continue climbing here throughout the remainder of this week. And next up, we got our July corn futures on the board. Another strong day here for this corn market as well, kind of following through with yesterday's action. Increasing volume here, getting a nice push up above 470, closing today. Beyond the edges of this range opens the door some more upside. We should see this thing trade pretty quick back up here towards 485 to 486. These prior highs are going to be the next stopping point for this corn market. Look for this thing to keep on driving higher here throughout the next couple days. As long as we don't run into too much resistance here, we could have some potential to get a new uptrend intact here. But we'll have to wait and see how we respond once we get back up here into the 480s, as we did see a lot of resistance here back in the month of March. Have to wait and see how we act, but should be a pretty quick mark up here towards 485. Look for the upside to continue here in the near term, and we'll have to wait and see if there's going to be good viable dips to keep a new uptrend here for this corn market. So in the near term, though, we should see continued upside here into the end of the week. Crude prices seen a nice breakout here today. As we discussed yesterday, we did see back-to-back inside days as price was kind of coming to a point here, drawing a nice heavy high volume node here, which usually creates a pretty one-directional sort of breakout moves. This was just kind of a technical breakout here, getting above this 98.39 prior week's high, and just seeing a lot of volume getting built up here. We did see this market pop higher here, but most of that upside came during the overnight session. The day session was just kind of a battle here as we chopped around the $100 mark. We're continuing to see some little bit of volatility here in the evening session. This market, as long as we're trading above 98.39, we could see some continued volatility and random pops here in the low $100 range, but we aren't really expecting to see any major or sustained upside from here. If this market does fail back down below this week's bull pivot, look for this thing to start flushing back down here towards $90. So not a whole lot of real directional clues, just seeing this market digest all this recent volatility. We're going to see some spikes both directions here, and if there is any sort of news headlines or anything out there, that could add some volatility here as well. But this crude market is getting pretty directionless, and we should see this thing have some continued spikes here and there, but eventually start to slow back down and trade back down into the $80 range. Next up, equity markets seeing a little bit of upside overnight last night, printing a new all-time high at 72.23 here for the S&P futures. Today, during the day session, though, we did see some steady downside, potentially getting a pullback underway here, undercutting that prior day's low. This market has seen just relentless strength, though, so I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing just kind of stay elevated here in this range we traded in last week, and just kind of trade sideways here and balance out. We are seeing the NASDAQ kind of leading the leg lower here, as it has just seen a one-way street for about 4 weeks in a row now. So wouldn't be surprised to see this thing pull back and cool off a little bit after this impressive rally we've had off of that low back there in late March. The S&P kind of stuck in the middle here, while the Dow is finding some support. We are seeing some nice little tight range days here inside of these prior week's range. look for the Dow to try and get a bid here. If we do get some bids above these prior day highs, that could keep this S&P market elevated and balancing out here in the 71 to 72 range. We'll have to wait and see how this NASDAQ reacts. If it can pull back a little bit deeper, we should see some pretty good buying opportunities. But like I said, the dips haven't been really even pretty non-existent here in the near term or in this recent action. So wouldn't be surprised to see this thing already turn back up and continue to rally here into the end of the week. But with today's action kind of breaking down below that prior day low, we are kind of on pullback watch here. But if we do get a nice little pullback, look for dips to be good buying opportunities. This market continues to show good strength, and we should be looking for deals out here in the event of a pullback. But this market is continuing to show really good strength, and we should see these higher prices continue into the end of spring and early into summer. So thank you everyone for tuning in here tonight. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.